Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is B and you're part of Beekeeper of Plants. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, thank you so much. As you can see, we're not in the plant room this morning. We're starting off at the coffee bar. And so I am getting ready to brew some coffee. As a matter of fact, it should start coming out after a while. I've already taken my Splendors and put them in, and I usually use heavy whipping cream. This is what I picked up just yesterday at the store just to see if I like it. I love a heavy cream in my coffee. And then once the coffee is finished brewing and everything is in there, we're going to top it with some cold foam, which is really yummy. So what are you drinking this morning? Have you had your first cup of coffee already? In today's video, we're going to sip coffee and we're going to do some repotting of some plants that I recently purchased. And so we're going to get started with that. And I hope that you come along and enjoy the ride with us. So let the coffee finish. I'm going to shake up this cold foam. You probably can hear the coffee is stopping already. It is finished, and I'm going to put our cold foam inside, like that. Set that down. Cheers, green thumbs up. Let's get started. Hey guys, now you see we're back in my plant room and I have my drink. Let me take a sip and let you see what it tastes like. Delicious. I tell you, that cold foam sets it off. Well, let me share something with you. I have a bag of goodies here, right? I've been shopping at one of the local plant stores, and I want to share the plants with you and do a repotting of them with you. So we're going to take them out of the bag and just set them in a tray so that I can easily get to them for repotting. Yeah, I have some tall ones too that I purchased. You know, I just wanted to get some plants before it gets cold and get them in the plant room and kind of get them, they're getting tangled, kind of get them established. Hold on one second, they're getting tangled. Get them established here in the plant room before it gets too cold. So I did a little plant shopping at one of the stores, and here's what we got. We got a lot of different beautiful plants, okay? And they're not too large. I intentionally did that because I didn't want them to be too large because I want some of them to be able to sit on the shelf behind me. Hold on, let me get the other one. Got this one here. So we're going to go on and get started with the repotting of the video. I'm going to take one more sip and put it away. And let's get started with the first one. The first one I have is a really pretty one. I've never grown this plant. This is an Alocasia Polly. And what's so neat about these plants here, they make corms. So you can easily get new plants in your collection just from the corms as this plant continues to grow. But what is magnificent about it, I would think, would be the leaves. The leaves remind me of a shield, and then they're so striking. I love how it has the deep color leaf, but then it has that beautiful, beautiful light color green veining going down the middle, and they branch off to the left and right. I just love that. I think this is a very pretty plant. Never grown it before, but we're going to try growing it today. This leaf here got caught up in one of the other plants, so I'm going to go on and pinch that off. Yeah, go on and pinch that off. So we're going to get started with the Alocasia Polly, and let's see what it looks like. Take it out of its pot. Each of these plants were already watered quite well, so I won't need to water these plants for a pretty good while. So that's a good thing. It seems like there are two plants in this pot. I'm just going to kind of tilt it like this because I don't want to break anything. Yeah. So let's look at the root system. You know, I always like to share the root system with you guys. Great, great root system. And because this soil is already wet, it's kind of damp, I'm not going to even fuss with it. I am just going to take it and put it in its new pot, like so. Yeah, put it in its new pot, like so. It's a square pot instead of the circular pot, the round pot. So just put it in the pot. This pot works very well for it. And this is the Alocasia Polly. I did not disturb the roots at all. I didn't need to. The soil was very wet, so there's no need in me making a huge mess. Alocasia Polly, it's done, okay? The next one that we're going to look at is this beauty of a plant here. Gorgeous, gorgeous plant, Hoya Wayetti. It has a very long tendril. All of the leaves growing on it, very long tendril. Look at the massive growth. It has another tendril that is growing here, so two vining tendrils. It has a lot of new growth that you can see. The darker leaves, let me try to find one for you. These leaves here are new. Okay, those are new. So this plant is growing quite well. I like that it's growing well. I'm going to go on and take it out of the pot, disturb its roots a little bit. Let's look at the root system. Great, great root system. Very good root system, as a matter of fact. So what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to fuss with the roots just a little bit. Just a little bit. Fuss with the roots. Not too much. And the Alocasia Polly was in a larger pot. So I'm going to put it in its pot. So just fussing around the top, not messing too much with the bottom, okay? And I'm gonna put it inside this pot here because it's a little larger, and I'm going to top it off with my soil. I'm just gonna top it off with my soil. Yeah, sometimes, guys, when you repot plants, you don't necessarily always have to disturb the roots. Sometimes you just need to put it in a larger pot, and that plant is going to be satisfied. And what I have found, when I am repotting plants is that if it comes from the nursery and it has already been watered well, I definitely don't disturb the root system. You know, all it does, it makes a huge mess, but also the roots are already drinking up the water that it was watered in. So there's no need in disturbing the root system right now. It's growing well. I'm not necessarily doing a huge repot, maybe just upping the plant in a pot and not disturbing the roots a whole lot. So this is its new pot here. And if I decide that I want to trellis it, I can. I'm gonna just let it continue to drape like so. And this is it, okay? Really nice Hoya Wayetti, growing well. So I'm gonna sit it on the floor. This is called a devil's backbone. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these plants or grown one of these plants. My mom had one at the home, and it was beautiful. She sat it outside in the front door, near the front door, and the front of our home received the south-facing light, and it grew beautifully and sun-stressed magnificently. So I saw this plant, it reminded me of my mom, and I said I wanted to get one. So I bought this plant. This is more or less an outdoor plant, and you see the pot that it's in. And let's look at the root system. This girl here definitely needs to be repotted. So let's get her out of this pot along with some of the weeds. We got some stragglers. So let's get her out. And also, guys, look, she has right here. Let's see if I can show it to you. She has a new growth that's coming. Look at that. Look at that new growth. Wow. So I'm going to be very gentle with taking it out. Growing quite well. Wow. Can you see? Look at that. Wow. Yeah, she's ready for a repot. Look at those roots, guys. Beautiful root system. And you can see that new growth that's growing. You see it? So, let's see what pot we're going to put her in. We're going to put her in a larger pot. Let's see. I have a few here. I could put her in this pot here. If I were to sit this one inside, that would be fine because it's wide, right? So I could do that. I could also do one like this. I think this one here gives more room than this one, than the black one. Or I could use one of these and I wouldn't have to repot it real soon. It all depends, okay? So I think for the aesthetic, I'm gonna go with this one here. So I'm gonna feel the bottom, like so, okay? And we're gonna sit her in the pot, push her down real well, and feel around her. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna feel around the sides. Yeah, she's growing well. She's gonna like this new home, a lot larger than what she's coming out of, and she's gonna continue to grow. So yeah, being careful with that new plantlet that's coming up. making sure it's very secure. I always say make sure that we push down the soil so that the roots can come in contact with the new soil that our plant is in. Okay, so here she is here. Devil's backbone. Beautiful. Okay, I like it. What about you? Okay, so that's the third repot right there. Okay, the next one I think is gonna be a Hoya. Now this Hoya, guys, is so cute, and never grown this Hoya before, saw it, you're gonna be surprised. I'm gonna go on and tell you what I paid for it. I paid $8.99 for this Hoya, and these Hoyas, this particular one here, is a lot more than $8.99. And let me show you what I'm talking about. A Hoya Kerri. Guys, a Hoya Kerri, just one leaf will run you above $20. And I got this nice Hoya Kerri for $8.99. $8.99. $8.99. And I think, guys, it has a peduncle coming. Let's see if I can show it to you. Look at that. I think that's a peduncle. I don't know. It also has new growth and two tiny leaves peeking out. So let's take it out of its tiny little pot. Let's look at the root system. Huge root system. Look at that big chunky root right there. Okay, so it's going to get a larger pot for sure. So it's just a matter of which pot I'm going to put it in. I really think this pot that the devil's backbone came out of would really complement the height, right? This is a tall plant and this is a tall pot. I think it would really complement it. So what I'm gonna do is lay this on its side very gently, and I'm gonna go on and put our soil at the bottom, just a little bit at the bottom. Yeah. Even grab some from my tray here. I always say I don't like to waste soil. So we're gonna sit her in. Let's see, put a little more at the bottom. Sit her in, and like so, and let's feel around her. Oh yeah, she's gonna enjoy this. You know, I was thinking about watering her, but the leaves are so thick right now. But after looking at the root system and looking at the soil, she needs a good watering. So I'm definitely going to water her today. Definitely, and I'm going to water her from the bottom. I usually water all of my Hoyas from the bottom. So she's going to get a bottom watering today, definitely. And I think she definitely will enjoy a good drink of water. You know, sometimes people say not to water, you know, your Hoyas too much. But what I have found, when I water my Hoyas, they really do enjoy that drink of water. Like I said, we like to stay hydrated. So, yeah, plants need hydration. Because if you don't, then they're taking water from the thick leaves when you don't hydrate them, when their roots are not taking up water. Then they're getting water from somewhere. And where are they getting the water from? From the thick leaves. So here we have it. She's finished. She's looking good in this tall pot. I like it. Yeah. Hoya Kerri. Love it. Okay. Sit her down. And this last plant, I am very excited about it because I am not good with growing a lot of different monsteras. This is a Monstera Standleyana, and it's the Albo version. So let's look at it. Why is it called Albo? Because of the variegation. Look at these leaves, guys. Beautiful, beautiful leaves. Look at it. Look at the variegation on it. And I am so hoping I am able to keep the variegation coming. That's a pretty one there. Wow. This plant here has one new leaf coming and 3 coming here. This plant is growing profusely. So we're going to go on and take it out of its pot and see what the root system looks like. Wow. Look at the root system. It is a massive root system. Wow. Not only that, but look. New root coming right there. New root coming right there. Growing beautifully. And this root here has already taken hold of the soil. So definitely, I'm not going to disturb the soil too much on this one. Just squeezing it just a little bit to loosen up some of the dirt near the bottom. And you can see as I squeeze it, you see how it's coming apart. The root system is unwinding. That's exactly what I want. Okay? Just enough to kind of fluff the root system like so. Okay? And we're going to place her in this pot. So I'm going to lay just a small bed of soil at the bottom here for these roots here to come in contact with. And I'm going to put her down, right there. And let me share something with you. You see how the root is already going in the soil? I just need to make sure that I press down the soil enough so that the roots can make contact with the soil on the side. So I'm going to be doing that, being very gentle while doing that. That is so important. So that root can continue to grow down inside the soil. Now, what I'm thinking, perhaps, is that I may need to repot this before spring. That's what I'm really thinking, you know. But I didn't want to go too large. You know, sometimes when you go too large, the plant don't like that. You know, plants like to be snug. So I didn't want to go too large. So I really have to make sure, keep an eye on the roots coming from the bottom. And keeping those roots in contact with the soil. That's so important to do that because they're already growing down in the soil. Just making sure you keep soil around those roots so that it'll have something to continue to grow down in. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, this turned out to be a pretty quick repotting because I really didn't disturb too much of the soil on these plants. I didn't need to. Some of them just needed a larger pot, and that was that for them. So here she is, really pretty in her new home. Yeah. So guys, I think that is all for today. I enjoyed the repotting with you. It was quick, short, to the point. I hope you made yourself a good cup of coffee or something this morning with me, and we will see you in the very next video. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll do the same. Bye-bye.